I'm Danya,
And I'm Shaheen.
and you're listening to or watching
Reality Woo Woo.
It's Not Something to Believe In.
It's something to talk about.
And on today's episode, we're talking about our weird Aquarian friends and their compatibility. Who pairs well with an Aquarian?
Are they a water sign? Are they an air sign? Who's to say?
Just throwing us all
Are
off.
they even from an element at all?
Like one that we are aware of? Probably not, honestly.
Probably not. They're from dark matter.
Yeah. They're an element that's not on the periodic table quite yet.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. That sums them up
realize I
kind of
would love that so
nicely. Yeah. And as I was doing the research for this episode, it was just like funny. It was funny. When we get into the celebrity couples, it was like not hard, but like a little hard. Like relationships
That's
weren't
what
like
she
at
said.
the forefront. It was a little hard. They're just like not at the forefront. When I think of Aquarians, like their relationships are not, they're just not that important. Like all the other things they do. Like they're just such like standalone personas, which, you know, they're like,
I could see that, yeah.
They're like pair doesn't matter, honestly. And
As
I don't,
long
and,
as they're
and it's
bearing
different
water.
from, it's different from Capricorn, right? Like we talked about that in the Capricorn episode that like, oh, they kind of like check it off the list and move on. But Capricorns they feel the conformity of society to be like, oh, but I have to have a partner. And they're like, this is the partner. Aquarians don't feel like that. So they're like super independent and don't feel that way. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of.
It's interesting. I have a friend who's an Aquarius who's like deeply passionate about love, but you're right. I don't see it at all as something that like is a societal construct of what they think. It's more like that they just deeply needed love and passion in their life.
Yeah.
We'll dwell more on this.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So, you know, if you're not an Aquarius for any reason, you know, those birthdays are late January, early February. As we mentioned, they are technically an air sign of the water bearer. And Aquarians they're great at a lot of things. They're super humanitarian. It rules technology. It's kind of a forward thinking sign, but as we've mentioned plenty of times, sometimes they have a little bit of difficulty dealing with reality as it exists in this time and place. So they pair well, like a wine. They pair well with supposedly other air signs. So Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius, and fire signs. So Sag, Leo, and Aries. What do you think about that, Shaheen? Let's just like picture a Libra and an Aquarius. I don't know. I think in the Libra episode
pretty.
we said it does sound pretty. Yeah, I hear that.
They're both attractive and relish in jewels, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, but Aquarius is a very independent sign, and I don't know. Libra
can be a little bit of a follower.
Yeah, it's strange that they're a cardinal sign, but I don't see them as. I wouldn't describe them as like independent. I'd say what you said, a follower.
They're a little bit
like,
of a follower.
They do well in teams or like groups.
Yes.
I'd say for sure.
Yeah, they're helper type energy. Yeah. So I don't know if like.
But Aquarius is a little bit more lonely than that, detached.
Yeah. Well, and Libras love, and Aquarians, they're pretty touch and go. Like,
yeah. They love justice.
Yeah. They love justice more than like their attachment to you.
Which is weird. I use that word because Libras are the scales of justice. And it's not that they don't love justice too. I guess priorities are just in different orders.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it could work. It's just like, it's not leaping off the page to me as like, yes, sign me up. Okay, what about with Geminis? That seems chaotic and possible to me, you know.
Sounds fun though. Like I always associate Geminis and Libras and Sagittarius as the mean girl memes from astrology accounts. Libra, I always think, is the one who's being told what to do and doing it.
You think Libra, Sag, and Gemini? I feel like Leo's in there too. Leo's definitely a mean
Leo
girl.
might be the fourth one who's in the mix, trying really hard to be seen. But I don't know if they're leading that effort of evil chaos.
leading the evil chaos.
Leo's in there. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Aquarius, definitely. Yeah. Aquarius is cool. They're definitely giving off the cool, like, Blake Lively's character on Gossip Girl. That feels like it could be.
I just imagined a brunette, and I don't know. I think I imagined the brunette from Gossip Girl. Okay, when you said Blake Lively, I know that she's blonde. I know that much about her now.
Yeah, she's kind of a hippie and like free. They try to make her be like a knockoff Paris Hilton a little bit in that show. So, and Paris Hilton is an Aquarius, so that makes sense, right? That tracks.
Yeah.
And an Aquarius with another Aquarius. I mean, I guess that's fine, right? Because they can just be off, like, doing their own causes, and then they won't be offended. It
sounds like maybe a nightmare, too.
I know an Aquarius on Aquarius relationship.
I know one that failed terribly.
Dramatically.
Yeah. But what's yours?
It's just a girlfriend of mine and her boyfriend, and I feel like, I mean, they're together. They've been together for, like, probably over 4 years now. Like, I think that works because they both have, like, their things that they're into, and they just kind of give each other the space. They can both
respect each other's independence.
And
also probably like vent with each other about the same things. Like, it should be this way, and then the other one would be like, "You're so right. It should be this way."
Yeah, and I think highly social signs have a hard time, right, when their partner is not as social as them, or that can be an adjustment, right, of like you being like, I want to go to the party, and your partner being like, I hate parties. Yeah. But like both Aquarius, like they just respect that in each other to be like, you don't want to go to the party? Fine. Yeah. That's fine. What about with fire signs? What about with like a Leo? That seems weird, but
well, if Leos have like, I feel like Aquarius is the kind of sign who is likely to like support great ideas. So I feel like if a Leo or a fire sign has ideas, then they would be the fan behind that flame.
Yeah, I agree with you in that like Leos are trying to like accomplish things to support their own ego, and then I think an Aquarius is future thinking, so it can pair sort of nicely, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, but I do just feel like Leos are a little bit more traditional than Aquarians in terms of what they value. So not that makes them incompatible. That just is like something to consider.
They're both fixed signs, so they can, like, Leo is more traditional. Aquarius is more like should be, could be, would be, future seer. But I feel like they can see eye to eye and probably learn from each other's differences.
Yeah. So yeah, that actually sounds good, and I do have an example of that working well in one of the pairs we'll talk about. What else? Aries. I don't know, that feels
Aries feels like this alternate reality version of an Aquarius that is like more like earthy, I guess, in some weird ways. Like Aries to me is really independent and energetic and weird in a similar way or it's completely different ways, I guess, than Aquarius is independent and energetic and weird.
Yeah, actually, that I get that.
I only just connected those dots. I've never thought that before.
No, but I'm with you for the ride, because definitely Aries is like, fuck off, I'm gonna do my own thing, I don't care what you have to say. And Aquarius is also that.
Yeah.
But in just like a little bit of a variation. But Aries, like, to me, the Aries fuck off is like not a performance, because I know that actually is how they feel, but it does feel it's like, I'm a rebel. Like that's their like personality, you know, where Aquarius is just like, they happen to just be that weird. I think.
Fully agree. Yes.
Is that right?
Representing Aries culture for sure. I agree with that. Yeah.
Like it's not a performance, but you're like putting on.
It's a costume.
It's a character. You're
it's
like
cool clothes and energy and vibe.
Like, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Look at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I'm a fire sign.
And Aquarius just like exudes it. They were born with it.
They just are. Yeah. 100%.
They are.
They're not
Maybelline.
Trying it on. Yeah.
They're not trying it on. No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm with it. And but they bet, you know, I could see it working. I like how we got there. That's fine.
Yeah. There's connection there for sure. There's something going on. There's tension.
Okay, so that feels like a nice rundown of like the compatibility on paper. But since Aquarius is like the technology sign, I know, Shaheen, you had a friend put together just some thoughts,
Friend, my best friend, ChatGPT. I used OpenAI, and I was just curious, playing around. Sometimes I like to ask it questions about astrology, and I asked it to summarize. Well, actually, I asked it a few different ways first, and then I curated the right answer, which is how you use AI these days.
I taught Jeremiah's boss how to use it, and Jeremiah, both of them today, how to use it.
Yeah,
so that I can
it's
stop
so useful.
writing his emails. Yeah.
And the first few times it wasn't perfect, but when I asked it to summarize Aquarius compatibility for each sign in 2 words, here's what it said. Aquarius and Aries, independent and energetic. I wonder, that must have actually must have been in my brain. Yeah, I didn't actually know that. Aquarius and Taurus, intellectual, unusual. I feel like that's a subtle way of saying probably not right.
That's a dig. Yeah.
Aquarius and Gemini, stimulating, quirky.
Okay.
Sounds kind of sexy. Aquarius and Cancer, intuitive, intriguing. Sounds like drama.
Emotional. On one side.
Aquarius and Leo, daring, flamboyant.
Yeah, that's right.
That sounds right. Yeah. Aquarius and Virgo, analytical, unconventional.
Okay.
Another kind of slight dig. I think.
Definitely analytical for sure.
Unconventional is like you wouldn't expect them together. Aquarius and Libra, collaborative, intellectual.
Okay, that collaborative. We did say we did talk about that. Yeah.
Aquarius and Scorpio, intense, mysterious. But isn't that every relationship with the Scorpio?
That's true. Yeah.
Aquarius and Sagittarius, adventurous, provocative.
That's
that
sexy.
sounds like summarizing what I was saying too.
Yeah.
Aquarius and Capricorn, cerebral, arduous.
Okay.
Arduous. I actually know an Aquarius.
Did a Capricorn write this? Pretend.
Yeah, I don't know. Aquarius and Capricorn, they get along great. As far as I've seen. Aquarius and Aquarius, unpredictable, inventive. Isn't that funny? Unpredictable.
Volatile.
Yeah. To have the same sign, you could never expect what to expect. And last is Aquarius and Pisces, mystical, imaginative.
Mystical. Okay, I do have quite a few Pisces Aquarius situations on this list. So we'll get into it. We're gonna start.
Let's find out more
with my boo with Harry Styles, who is an Aquarius. Yeah. And he recently, we're not going to go through the trajectory. It's too much. We've probably touched on a lot of it, but we're going to go with the most recent ones because he was spotted just this week making out with someone new.
The week of March 27th?
Yeah. Literally just this week. Yeah. I think it was like 2 or 3 days ago.
Urgent
Jeremiah
news.
sent me the link in the middle of the night. It was like urgent
Fresh
news.
off the press.
Okay, so his most recent relationship was with Olivia Wilde. We all know about that, the relationship, and she directed him in the movie, and her marriage ended. Lots of situations going on around there. She's a Pisces, though. So here, I'm gonna give you a take on this. Is like
mystical.
Okay, Pisces love as probably as much as Libras do, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
and they like to
Agreed.
be deep in the emotions of like sadness when it comes to love too. So I feel, me totally just making up a scenario, that Olivia Wilde probably just like wanted out of her relationship anyways, right? Like that's kind of what that was. And then there's this like hot young Aquarius on set who's like fun and has all of these new ideas, and she's like, great, this is what I'm gonna like glom onto, you know?
From her previous relationship with who?
She was with Jason Sudeikis. Let's actually look that up.
Right.
Jason Sudeikis' birthday. He's a Virgo. So I could see he's a male Virgo, as we've talked about.
Because weren't they so strong, her and him, for a while? I feel like
I think
she must have needed such an extravagant distraction from the wonder that he gave her.
Yeah.
That may
Yeah.
be why she dated Harry Styles.
She
I don't know
chose
why I
Harry
just suddenly
Styles.
became a huge Jason Sudeikis supporter.
Stan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you sound like you
Like
are like the president of his fan club.
yeah, like Olivia Wilde made a huge mistake.
Yeah.
Huge.
I mean, I do feel like that's the general read from society.
Mm.
But that's where we are. And then, okay, which is so funny. We're recording the Aquarius Compatibility. We just talked about this same person that I'm about to name right now in the Scorpio episode that we recorded maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago, because she was dating Pete Davidson at the time. Emily Ratajkowski. We're back to her. She's now on Harry Styles. That's who she was seen making out with her in Tokyo this week. And she is a Gemini, so technically a better match for both of them. How do we feel?
I mean, I don't know how to feel at all about like supermodels of her caliber. Like, I don't know how to gauge what
that's
their
his standard.
personality
He
is
loves
like.
a supermodel. That's his that's his bread and butter is a supermodel.
But like, Cara Delevingne, or however you say her last name, she has personality that I get. And I don't know her, but I get it.
Personality. Yeah.
But like, I get it. And like Emily Ratajkowski.
I mean, she kind of now has the personality of like, I'm gonna hook up with everybody. That might be her.
Is that her vibe?
It might be her personality, because in between Pete Davidson and Harry Styles, there was also Eric Andre, the comedian. So she's like, and I mean, she just got out of divorce, so I'm not projecting anything onto her, but yeah, there's a lot going on. But Harry Styles, supposedly, I've never really looked at his chart, but I have seen like memes online. His chart is like never gonna settle down, gonna ruin marriages forever. That's like what the chart is.
That's what his chart says.
The whole of it. Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, this isn't gonna last long anyways, so who cares? Those are the most recent. And then next on our list is Alicia Keys, who like when I saw that, I'm like, yeah, she's definitely an Aquarius, because she's always trying to be like her own, even from the moment she came on the scene, right? Like, we'd never seen like a mainstream pop star who was like a black jazz singer playing the piano, but like on mainstream radio, right? Like that's pretty weird in general.
Yeah, she came out of nowhere.
She came out of nowhere
and changed culture. Yeah,
she totally did. And then just like everything since, right, is like her whole like no makeup thing, and like it's just like a constant.
And all of her music is really like, her big pop music is kind of like world encompassing. It's always like a big anthem that makes everybody come together. Her vibes are kind of like,
and my like
egalitarian. I don't
immediate like Virgo reaction is to be annoyed with Alicia Keys, and then every time I see her perform though, or hear anything that she says, I'm like, no, I like that. Like it's just in my brain.
It's aspirational.
She annoys me, and I don't know why that is, because she's beautiful and incredibly talented, and like I agree with her stance on like almost everything. So yeah, I don't know why. But
I have this weird version of how I feel like I ruined Alicia Keys, because when I learned piano, I sang along to it for so long, for like a year long. I just sang Alicia Keys for a year.
Yeah,
I think that my roommates at the time probably never want to hear Alicia Keys again.
Probably her
but
Tiny Desk is the best one. Her NPR Tiny Desk is like the best.
I haven't heard it.
Oh, watch it. It's so good.
Okay.
And she is married to Swiss Beats, and he's a Virgo. So interesting. I don't, again, I'm
what
like, I don't know.
Chat GPT say again? Analytical and unconventional.
Yeah, they've been together for 13 years. So it seems to be, a good union. And Virgo's a very independent sign as well. So I see them just like doing their thing, finding their groove. Like, I think that's fine. I think it's good. Works for them.
Aquarius is a really committed sign, I'd say. Being as independent and like freedom seeking as they are, I don't associate them with like the adventurousness as like other signs that have that kind of independence. I'd say that every Aquarius I know wants to settle down with a partner and like find love in that way. Just something I kind of acknowledge right now.
That's an interesting,
except Harry Styles.
Except Harry Styles. That's an interesting connection kind of to like the rest. I keep going back to Capricorn because that's what we've recorded most recently. Of like, yeah, Aquarius wants some stability. They're human in quotes. So they want some stability to then be able to like venture forth and like go do what they're trying to do. So that makes sense to me. Next on our list is Oprah. Oprah's an Aquarius. Makes sense.
How do I forget that? I guess Oprah just seems like beyond astrology.
Oprah's beyond astrology. Oprah is beyond relationships, kind of. But I have her two life partners. So Stedman, her like, forever boyfriend, is a Pisces. So that's two Pisces Aquarius couples we have on this list. But her true partner is Gayle King. And Gayle is
her
a
best
Capricorn.
Friend and soulmate.
Yeah, her best friend and her twin flame is a Capricorn. So
that's
cool. I think it's cool. I think they're both, independent, doing their thing. I think it's cool. I think it works. But
that sounds like it's grounded on.
But like that's
trust.
what I said at the beginning of the episode is when I was doing this research, I'm just like, oh, Aquarians are kind of like beyond relationships, right? Like all the people I've named so far, like Harry Styles, I mean, he's in relationships because he's just so beautiful, but like, could we really call them relationships? Like Oprah, to your point, is like beyond.
Yeah.
And then Alicia Keys, but I feel like I don't think of Swiss Beats as like the main thing when I think about Alicia Keys, which like love and romance doesn't seem like a priority on their list, but they all, when confronting it, go into it. They allow themselves to fall in love. They're not afraid of love. I mean, if you think about Aquarians as like true aliens, and they're like, let's pretend they're all aliens and they're all here to like enjoy the human experience. Love would be the most fundamental human experience, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then the next one on our list is Ashton Kutcher. He's an Aquarius, and Mila Kunis is a Leo. And I couldn't recall if maybe we'd talked about them in the Leo compatibility episode, but that was so long ago. Who even remembers, So yeah, I mean, we talked about it, that this can work.
Are they still together?
Yeah.
They are.
They're still together. Yeah.
They've been together for like their whole childhood. Now that we're all older and not children.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they
weren't together.
Yeah.
Right? But
then they
did.
Together.
And they still were friends for a long time during their growth. It's interesting.
Yeah. And I do think I don't know. He seems pretty traditional to me, honestly.
Now that we're past punked.
Yeah, he's like definitely a libertarian, which I don't love.
Interesting.
But yeah, I don't know. I think they seem to work well as a couple. Of all like the people he's been associated with in the public eye, I feel like they were like kind of meant to be, right? And I think I expect Mila Kunis to be a Scorpio every time I look her up, but she's Leo.
She definitely looks like one. Yeah,
she gives me Scorpio vibes, but maybe she has like major Scorpio placements.
Maybe, or maybe that's just what her Leo wants you to think. She's trying really hard.
Yeah, that's her performances of a Scorpio.
Yeah.
She's
like,
this actually makes a lot of sense. Well, she is like was born in Eastern Europe, right? Is she? She's not Ukrainian. She's Russian.
She seems like Slovenian something.
Let's just look it up. Mila Kunis, born
Slavi. Something.
She was born in Ukraine. She is Ukrainian.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, and so
didn't know that.
Yeah, I do. It's just colder and sadder over there. So maybe Leo energy gets transmuted into like Scorpio.
It's the eyes. She's got that like Eastern European eyes. Those like I've seen harsh winters for generations.
Yeah, you know
eyes.
what I mean? Like she's carried it with her.
She's carried the cold with her. Yeah, that's interesting.
It lives inside.
We just got into like genetics with astrology.
Yeah. Okay, and then our next couple, Sophie Turner. Did you watch Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones, yes.
I am not a a Game of Thrones person.
Yeah. Sophie Turner's stories grew. Very dynamic character development. Who'd she date?
She's married to Joe Jonas.
I was mixing up the Jonases, and I thought that this was someone else. That's cool though. How long have they been together? I didn't know that they were together.
Yeah, they've been married for like a while.
They've been together like forever?
For like a while, like probably like 5 years, maybe more. Maybe more. Like
That's like forever in
Panini.
Hollywood.
Yeah, like pre the pandemic. Yeah, yeah. And he is, what is he? He's also a Leo. Okay, so these are compatible on paper couples. We're seeing a lot of this. We're seeing a lot of Leo and Aquarius.
Aquarius and Leo. It's kind of fun.
Knew? There are forerunners.
There's something about it.
It's working. Okay,
it's
and then
hair.
my last person is Emma Roberts. And so I'm just going to give a little bit of a history because she's had a couple boyfriends. So she was with Evan Peters, and he was an Aquarius. So I included that because it was an Aquarius on Aquarius situation. You know who Evan Peters is, yeah?
Yeah, and just thinking of that, they must have met on American Horror Story or something. It seems like a nightmare, like a horror story.
Yeah.
Was it?
She was arrested for domestic violence when they were together.
Oh my God. I was
you didn't
half
know that?
Kidding. No, I did not
know.
Wow.
And it ended like shortly thereafter. Like charges weren't pressed.
On Aquarius, I said.
Yeah, it is volatile. Yeah, what did you say? You said unpredictable.
ChatGPT said unpredictable, which is wild because it's two of the same kind.
So that is what happened.
Two negatives make positive. I don't know what it is. It's something.
Yeah. And then she had a baby and was with Garrett Hedlund for a while. Do you know who Garrett Hedlund is? Very attractive. Google him. He was in Country Strong. You never saw. I'm sure you never saw it. He was in Tron.
He's a beautiful man.
He was in
Tron.
He was in Tron.
Was he in literally anything else?
He was in Four Brothers. Have you ever seen that?
No.
With Andre 3000 and Mark Wahlberg. You should see it. It's good.
Oh.
It's tragic but very good. And Tyrese.
Oh,
and him. It's a good. Okay. It's a good little mix.
That's interesting. Okay. So he's a niche actor who chooses whatever he wants.
Yeah, and
Something about him.
So anyways, they were together, they had a baby. He's a Virgo. So there's not been any other Virgo relationships. Oh yeah, Swiss Beats. Swiss Beats is a Virgo with Alicia Keys. So but it didn't work out. They broke up last year and now she's dating, I had to look, actor Cody Johns, but he's not. I mean, I guess that's what he says his job is, but and he is
anything?
Not that we know of. And he's a Pisces.
Someday
Lots
soon.
of Pisces, Virgos, Leos, all up in this mix.